so much shaking happening in the world right now. Everywhere you look, you see it, you can feel it in our institutions, kids' schools, religious institutions, businesses. Things just are on shaky ground, and many things are crumbling right before our eyes. And it's so easy to get caught up in the news and in the noise. And when we do that, we totally lose sight of the reality of what's happening. And the reality of what's happening is an unbelievable opportunity because these things need to be shaken down. There's so much brokenness in them. And it's not that there was something wrong with them. I think I hear a lot of people talking about how wrong or how bad the institutions are. The truth is, they've done their job beautifully to get us to this point, but it's time for a new way. And this new way is going to be hard for a lot of people because they're not going to be comfortable. This new way is going to require a tremendous amount of introspection. The old way of doing business, the old way of doing school, or the old way of even doing family was we were following a set of rules and principles and conditioning that was set before us from hundreds of years. And we trusted in our institutions and we looked to them to tell us who we are and what to do. And we're moving away from that, whether people want to admit it or not. This is what's happening. And where we're moving to is where people are going to need to know who they are from the inside. They're going to need to be able to navigate themselves into the right situations, to the right environments, because we're moving into a more self-empowered humanity where we won't need to, we won't want to rely on our institutions to tell us who we are. We need to know who we are. And we have tools that we use at Activate that can help uncover this for each individual. And it's freaking fascinating because it's not just like it's not just, oh, your frequency. It's legitimately what you came here to do. Are you a visionary? Are you a leader? Are you an innovator? Are you a builder? Do you build systems and frameworks? And we don't have to guess with these things. This is how somebody was actually created. And I'm going to explain the way I see it happening in business because it's something that I'm familiar with and I've gotten more insights in, and it's the way we're operating at Activate. And this is understanding that we're going from a hierarchical system to a synarchy system. And synarchy is where there is more empowerment given to the people. So you don't have this traditional hierarchical system because the truth is we are all equal, meaning at the soul level, no one is better than another. And I think for anybody who has any sense of enlightenment, they understand this basic truth. Now, at the flesh level, in these avatars, there's all kinds of discrepancies. But once we start to understand who we really are, we can start to recognize we each bring something unique. And it's not to say we don't need to learn from each other. It's not to say we don't have mentors. It's not to say we don't have bosses. But the mindset's very different. The mindset is each person brings their unique set of giftings into the organization. So whereas the past, businesses were set up with an objective in mind and a goal in mind, and processes and systems and frameworks and structure were made to achieve that goal, and people needed to come in and fit in. And if you don't fit into the processes, if you don't fit into the systems, if you don't fit into the specific roles on the org chart, then you're basically in trouble. The really successful companies of the past were really strict on this. But in the future, it's not going to work. It's already starting to break down. People are rejecting it. Why? Because something's shifting inside of them. We see the shaking. And it's not just an external shaking, it's an internal shaking. And the future of business will mean that those processes, those structures, those frameworks on how to achieve our goals will be centered around the people first. And this is what's going to be so hard for so many people because they're going to try to implement the way things were, and it's not going to work. And it's going to be very frustrating. And the way it's possible is because of AI. AI will enable us to create individual plans based on each individual's true identity and their conditioning and what they came here to do and meet them where they're at and help unleash their true potential, something that has resonance with them. And we will understand how to unleash each individual in their greatest potential because we will actually understand who they are. But it requires a flexible mind and openness to new ways of doing things. Because if you don't see it already, you're going to see it really soon. One of the main reasons you're seeing these institutions and companies start to struggle, and you're going to see a lot more of it. It's not because they're bad, it's not because they did something wrong, it's because there's a new way of doing things. And just like signals in our own life, in our own circumstance, when they are signaling to us pain, trials, tribulations, they're speaking to us. We need to change. There's a new way to do things. And this is the thing that's happening in our world right now.